Irish vote was widely celebrated with one depressingly predictable voice of dissent.
A sharp rejection today of Ireland's historic same-sex marriage vote from the Catholic Church. The Vatican Secretary of State called the result a, quote, defeat for humanity.
OK, settle down a little, Catholic Church. Remember, you're an organisation whose victories for humanity include the Crusades, forced adoptions, and running a wildly successful international paedophile exchange programme. So let's save the defeats for humanity accusation for things that truly deserve it.
All right, folks, this Gimme 5 segment is called The Outrageously Left-Wing Media, and we have some examples for you, and that's what, John Oliver? If I ran into him in the street and knocked him down and helped him up, I would not know who he is. I do not have HBO. I would never have HBO and pay his salary and pay the salary of Bill Maher and other shows that I think are despicable, and other documentaries that I've seen in movies and events on HBO that I think are despicable. So I wouldn't know who this guy is. But hey, he's right in the mainstream, bashing Catholics, bashing the Pope. It's wonderful. Here's more.
One person who definitely is not watching our broadcast tonight, Pope Francis. In fact, he told an Argentinian newspaper that he hasn't watched television in 25 years.
I'm just saying, Pope, if you'd watched TV, not only would you have learned a lot, but there are shows that you might have really liked. If nothing else, I think you'd have loved Breaking Bad. That's a show you could really relate to. It's a story about a man gradually losing touch with reality, overseeing a vast criminal enterprise, and yet so powerful that no one's brave enough to tell him he's wearing a very silly hat.
Oh, silly hat. Now, what if a Christian were to take offense to that and shoot somebody? Ooh, would he ever say that again? I don't know. Of course, no Christian is going to take offense to that and shoot somebody. You know, that only happens with a certain unnamed religion. But there it is, the Pope, silly hat, Christian, criminal element, blah, 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 blah. It's disgusting. Charlie Rose, speaking of disgusting, let's watch.
There's no getting away from the pain of U.S. sanctions here. Grocery prices are up 20% over the past year. Gas and electricity have doubled. Iranians want it to stop, so they're watching the nuclear talks closely, most desperate for a deal.
Well, that was Elizabeth Palmer. She was on with Charlie Rose, I should say. Oh, how the sanctions, the American sanctions are just, oh, they're terrible for the Iranian people. Oh, mean, old, disgusting, vulgar, outlandish Americans putting sanctions on the good people of Iran. And there are many good people of Iran. But since when did we separate the actions of a government from the people of the country? We bombed Japan. We bombed Germany. Should we just bomb the government, the people who run the government's homes? This is sick reporting. We're not finished yet. Here's Gayle King. You might know her from a woman named Oprah Winfrey. Here she is.
This morning, China has put a tough smoking ban in place for all indoor public spaces. Square dancers, young and old, helped usher in the ban, which begins today. They performed outside the Bird's Nest Stadium in Beijing yesterday under no smoking signs. The World Health Organization says 300 million people in China smoke. 1/3 of global lung cancer deaths occur in China.
Well, the ban is a good way to start.
The ban is a good way to start in China, where they tell people everything they could do and can't do. She likes the fact that China's telling people, in the Chinese government's putting a ban on smoking. The people can't practice religion. They can't go to school the way they want. They have no access to the outside world. But ooh, good place to start, says Gayle King. And then there's this.
I think we need to turn this on its head. There's been a lot of conventional reporting about the Taliban 5. These were never people that were in the field. These are important people, but they were largely paper pushers. The Taliban is not Al-Qaeda, and Al-Qaeda is not ISIS. So the Taliban is going to be a feature of Afghan politics well into the future. But that's part of the uncomfortable and not discussed enough part of some of the Guantanamo prisoners, is that they're political prisoners as much as they are military or national security holds for us. It's an incorrect assessment to think that we gave up something great that we wanted to keep to get Bergdahl back.
Yes, we're holding political prisoners at Guantanamo. Sick! We're coming back.